Hello and welcome everybody to another fantastic episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming. Going ahead and do me a quick favor, hit that like button. Make sure you go share this out so other people within gaming can check out these dope people that I've been having on these live streams, y'all. So please go out and do that for sure. But anyways, let's keep moving forward. The person that I happen to have today, Mr. Calirex, has his own YouTube channel. You should go check it out. It's plainly based just like his name, Calirex. Go on, check it out. He does all different kinds of reviews. He will do just commentary for like movies and, like just talking about what he thinks about those. He does walkthroughs with different video games. Please, Calirex, let everybody know where they can either find you in the gaming space or in the social media space. Let them know.
Well, again, you guys can find me at my YouTube channel, Calirex, and you guys can find me at my Twitter, Calirex01, or my backup Twitter handle, Calirex011. Yeah, that's about all the social media I really use. I mean, I do have an Instagram, but I hardly even post there, so it doesn't really matter for that one.
Yeah, same. I have an Instagram as well. I actually even have a Facebook account, HamSolo05 Gaming there, but I'm just never really there. So like, I just never say anything about it because there's just one other thing that I have to stay on top of, and I'm just like, not yet, not right now.
Yeah, there's some of those social media platforms we're gonna have, or just like, I don't know, do we really want to put the effort into something that we're not really growing on? But
well, there's that, and I feel like on like something like Facebook, it's a little harder to engage with like the community.
Yeah, unless you're already
gaming.
unless you're already in a community, then it's pretty much going to be hard to like grow your own there.
Right. Where Twitter, it's just kind of like, do you want a piece of this? Come on in. But anyways, it's really good to have you here on the show, man. We've been waiting quite some time. I had you scheduled almost like a month in advance, so it's finally that time to have you here, brother. What have you been playing right now? Let everybody know.
Actually, I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Mostly because that Master Duels game, it just has its teeth just sinked into me. I cannot stop playing.
Okay, I didn't expect to hear that. Continue though.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a big fan of playing the actual card game, like in real life. Like I know, because I know there's people who actually enjoy the actual card game,
Right.
but like
There's
I've
a
always
lot
been
of
into
people
the
that
video
enjoy the
games.
card game.
Yeah, but like I mostly got into the video games from their PSP games. I don't know if you ever heard of the Tag Force Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Oh no, I haven't. I definitely haven't.
Well, practically, it's kind of like Pokemon, but like instead of like Pokemon that you can like in Pokemon you can capture like animals, right?
Right.
Basically, this is all about the card game. You play the card game inside the video game, but you have different kind of like they're based on the seasons of like the anime or like their shows, right? So you have the GX era, which is about like fusion monsters, and then you have the 5Ds era, which introduces synchro monsters. So those were the two games that I played on the PSP. So moving in from that, I actually got into these like fan-made games for Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's what got me into Master Duel.
Okay.
Because the fan-made games are actually like you play the actual card game, but against like online against other people.
So you're playing the card game, you just ain't doing it with cards, you're just playing it digitally.
Yeah, but the video game but like these fan-made games give you all the cards just virtually, so you can make your own decks.
Yeah, so you don't have to sweat over buying everything because those things get expensive, man. Yeah, I was working at a video game store and like we also like did like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and just like a ton of different cards. I'm not a card connoisseur at all, and yeah, people would come in and man, like those cards are crazy expensive, and some of the rarities, and just I don't know. I don't get it, but then again, I like collect some video games and stuff, so I'm guessing it's something like that, like meaningful wise to somebody. Like, oh, this means a lot to me. I'm willing to drop this money. Or maybe it's just like that powerful of a card, and then you're just going to shut everybody down. But I just don't understand how the game works, so I don't know.
It's a bit complex when you get into when you really go into like deep into the game itself. But
Okay.
honestly, most of like the value comes into like what people actually see in the cards, like why they liked it, even if it's like nostalgia
So it
or
is
like the
personal
rarity.
value that has more to do with it than it is like what it can do in the
Some of
game.
some of the cards, yeah, because there's some like old cards that like people just like are attached to, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always
Is
wondered that.
there
I was like, man, is this $300 card? Are they just putting it on the table and winning the game, or?
it's the exact same thing for Pokemon too. That's why the Pokemon cards kind of got just like their value just exploded, you know.
Yeah.
That whole Pokemon card craze where everyone was buying cards at stores.
Oh yeah. I mean, there is and wasn't there a thing where like McDonald's was like doing something or like some like fast food
Yeah,
restaurant?
they actually did give Pokemon toys and like Yu-Gi-Oh toys, and like for each one of those toys, you can actually get a card with it too.
Yeah, because I remember people just buying the hell out of like Happy Meals like crazy. And it was like all over the news and stuff like that. How like some people were like trying to like or like figuring out ways to cheat the system because you know how people are,
Yeah,
especially your
yeah.
card gamers and stuff like that. They're trying to get that card. They ain't trying to get the same card a million times. So I feel that. But you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and then what other games do you happen to be playing, or is that just the one that's taking up all your time?
Well, it wasn't always the one that took all my time. I actually still play like once in a while. I do play this strategy game called Hearts of Iron 4. It's a World War II strategy game, and I just enjoy it. And the modding community for this game is just absolutely massive because the mods for this game change the game overall.
Okay. Like, and explain like what kind of game that all is.
Well, again, so it's a strategy, right?
Yeah.
But in since it's based in World War II, you select countries during that era to play as. You can play as the U.S., you can play as Poland, you can play as Soviet Union, you can play as Germany, and you can annex other countries, make them part of your country, or basically just declare war and help another country uh, just with their wars. And it has an online component too on PC. I mean, it's also on console too, but the console multiplayer isn't really that popular because strategy games have always been more popular on PC.
For sure.
But the multiplayer is actually pretty cool because there's like this hardcore community that actually like to play like different scenarios. Like you'll run into a community that likes to like role play as like the countries during that time. So they like to be as historical as possible when it comes to playing.
Okay, so you're saying it gets pretty deep then.
Yeah, pretty deep. Because they actually have you go into the Discord servers because they want you to be part of the community, and they'll have you join and like talk with them, like who's
Oh
ever playing
man,
that server.
they are
Yeah.
trying to get you committed.
Yep.
Dang man, I don't know about all that. That's a lot. I've been in like a game where they need your community like they're always like trying to talk to people. How is the servers going? What's going on today? How's everybody doing? We have a party kind of thing going on right now. Everybody meet on this map at this time. Yada yada yada. So like I kind of get what you mean by the whole Discord and community aspect of it. It can be pretty fun if you engage a lot with it, but it can also be really annoying if you're not really trying to engage with it that much.
No, yeah, yeah. So I don't really take part in it. I mean, I just try to play it for fun because like you can play by yourself, but that's just that multiplayer is just one aspect of it.
Fair enough. So what kind of gamer would you say you are? Like, are you more into strategy games, or are you into like RPGs, or like if you were to pick a genre for yourself and just run with it for like for the foreseeable future, which one do you think you would enjoy?
Okay, now you see that's the hard part about being a gamer because I play so much, especially on PC. There's so much to get into. It's
Well,
just so hard to really. classify yourself under one genre.
Well, that's my
You know?
thing. Like, I mean, I'm a host of a show where we talk games. My plan is to make it fun, but a little difficult. So I want you to put a little bit of thought into this and tell me which one you think you might hold on to for the foreseeable future if you had to pick a genre.
Okay, if I had to, I honestly might just say RPGs.
Okay. Is there a specific kind of RPG that you like most? Like
I mean,
Western or JRPGs, or if you want to get even more like specific, there's there's like really God, how do you word that one specifically? There is like post apocalyptic ones like Fallout and stuff like that.
I think I more enjoy like sci-fi based RPGs like Mass Effect, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So are you pretty excited for Starfield, or do you not care?
Well, when it comes to Bethesda, I kind of learned about like their qualities, so I'm just kind of hesitant. I'm just waiting to see how it runs, you know?
Fair. That I think that's a fair assessment because I mean they did get the name Bug Bethesda
Yeah.
from the community, but it feels like they're really confident about this one than some of their past games, and they're like pulling out all the people
They
to
were
talk
confident
about
about
all.
76 too.
Yeah, I'm sure, but like they really make this sound like they're like pride and joy and baby ever since I started
No,
making
yeah,
games. This
yeah.
was my plan, kind of thing. So I'm giving Todd Howard my trust this time, but like I don't even
You
know
see,
if he could come out with a bigger game after this.
you see, I think after my I think I learned my lesson when it comes to trusting game developers, especially when it came to Cyberpunk. That I pre-ordered that game, and when it came out as buggy as it
Oh
did, I was like,
no.
you know what? I'm never doing this again. I'm waiting. I'm waiting from now on.
You know, Too Big in the chat right now. He says Ham is in love with sim type games, and I mean, you're not lying. I do like simulation games quite a bit. I get you know really deep into them, and then when I put them down, I don't want to pick them back up. That's the only problem I have with sim games. Is like, man, if something takes my attention off of it too long, then it's hard for me to pull myself back in. Like I
When you say
have a
sim games, do you mean like Farming Simulator or uh like those kind of sim games? Or
no, no, not like a farming simulator. No, like like some like for instance, like when I was a kid, I got super deep into flight sim for a hot moment cuz when I had it on PC. I played that game and that alone for like 3 months. But keep in mind, this is like back with like Flight Sim 98 on my old Windows XP computer and stuff like that. I kind of went a little bit more towards action adventure as I started to grow up, and now I'm starting to dabble a little bit more with RPGs. RPGs has been the hardest thing for me to really like enjoy because you have to take your time and figure out the story and stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that.
they're definitely a commitment.
Yeah, dude. So like, I like something I can like pull up and just like screw around with a whole lot and not like feel too obligated to do anything in particular if I don't want to. Like one of my favorite games of all time is Ark Survival Evolved, right? So
Yeah.
so that game right there requires you to do a ton, right? If you want to, but you can also just run around and do nothing for hours and like find stuff and kill
Yeah.
dinosaurs and tame dinosaurs and stuff like that, because after a while, like when you start to learn stuff, it becomes so easy and like second nature that you're just kind of just running around and just doing stuff just for fun and not really worrying about it at all. But like when you start off in that game, it's kind of
Oh no, I
disrespectful.
no, I understand. I've actually played the game. I I bought it just because of dinosaurs. I'm a huge fan of dinosaurs when it comes
Yeah,
to Sim.
same, dude. I loved it, man. I put over 120 days when it was all Like, cause when I was looking on my Xbox, it said that I had 170 days, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. And then I like looked up like the true stat or whatnot, and it was like 120 days, and I was like, that's still really impressive.
You, okay. I have to ask this real quick. So, as an Ark Survival player, how how much did it trigger you like whenever you died and had to like respawn somewhere and you lost all your stuff?
Okay, so back in the day in that game, there was no light that shined in the sky to tell you where you died and lost all your
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So are you talking about back then, or are you talking about like now?
No, back then, back then.
Oh my god, dude. So not only was it bad when that happened, you know, so like let's say you're flying and you go to hold Y, but you accidentally tap it instead, and you jump off of your freaking pterodon in the middle of the sky, and you fall
Tell
to
you
your
how many times
death,
that has killed me.
dude. So you know it's like a real thing, dude.
Yeah.
So you jump off your pterodon, you fall like 1,000 feet to the ground, and you're just like, all right, well I'm dead. And then cause I'm assuming if you're like flying like a pterodon and stuff like that, you probably you either have a ton of pterodons and you just don't care, or you have like nothing and that pterodon's like your one thing. So like previously during that time, early into the game, I didn't really have a whole lot. And you know, if you play on a dedicated server, not an unofficial PC session or something like that, if you play on a dedicated server, everything is slow and it's almost painful.
Oh no, yeah.
Um,
That's why I actually just played solo, to be honest, by myself for a while there.
yeah, I get that because like it was extremely rough. So like and keep in mind this game dropped as a game preview back in like 2016 or maybe even just a little earlier than that. But I remember when I was playing it, man, like it was the original Xbox that I had. So rough, right? I swear that game was like 720 at best with like maybe 15 frames per second. And
Oh no, yeah. Ark Survival did not run well when it hit
no,
consoles first.
it was awful. And like half the time you would like you jump off right of your bird, fall to the ground, and then sometimes you would spawn back to your bed, and then you try to go back out there, and then your game would crash, and sometimes your game would crash over and over and over, and it took, not even lying, like 3 to 4 minutes for the game to load in the first place. So sometimes you're spending like 15 minutes to try to get into the game. And then once you're in the game, you're waking up in whatever spot that the game crashed you on, which could be further back than you thought. And you're immediately lost because your bird's 1,000 feet ahead of you, and you have no idea what direction that you're looking anymore because, you know, you died. So, like, getting that bird back was a pain in the butt, but at the same time, like, the reason you flew that bird out was to go do like a task, to go like get some wood or go get some, you know, metal or something like that. But you end up spending an hour and a half just trying to get your stuff back, and then once you get your stuff back, then you gotta go like in my case, sometimes like when I was really early in the game, I'd have to go tame another bird after I picked up all my stuff, just to fly up there to go get that bird. And like I'm saying, like I'm spending a third of my night fixing an accidental Y press. You know what I mean? It was awful, but it was awful.
I know how you feel there.
It was awful, but for some reason I just couldn't pull myself away from it. You know what I mean? Because it was such a great concept. But it just like, it was just implemented in not the best way. And to be honest, I just think the original Xbox is just really underpowered.
No, yeah. Well, not only that, but like the developers themselves, they're not exactly great when it comes to the console parts of games.
No, they're fairly fresh on the block. You know, I mean, like
Yeah.
that's the Ark is their baby. So it's very interesting to see. I'm interested in to see what this new game is going to be with Wildcard Arc 2 because it has Vin Diesel in it and like it's cringe, but at the same time it's needed
Is that
kind
game
of.
still is that game still happening? Because I haven't seen jack and shit
Yeah, that game
from
is
that game since they announced it.
100% still happening. They've just been radio silent about it.
Last time they went radio silent was with what's it called? What was that pirate game that
Oh
they made?
yeah, that was oh dude, I loved that game too. It was like the exact same thing but with boats, and it came out. It came out like around the same time as Sea of Thieves came out. I feel like it did, but I'm trying to remember what that game was called. Man,
Atlas, that's what it was called.
yeah, Atlas. Thank you, Atlas. Man, and that game was tough, man. That game was a lot tougher than Ark because they had NPCs in that game where Ark didn't have any like characters that you fought. You just fought monsters and dinosaurs and random animals. But in Atlas they had other NPCs that and they were like what was it called? Like skeleton people or however you want to say that. It was pretty interesting. It was fun, but it was painful because like man, if you sailed away too far, it would take you, not even lying, like sometimes 2 hours just to ride that boat back home.
God, you see, I never played it, so I never got to experience that.
Oh, I experienced it all right. I felt every piece of it because I was like, man, Ark is really big and it takes a long time to get around. Then I played Atlas and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad compared to freaking Atlas. Atlas is bad. Like, because if your boat gets blown up or whatnot, and
Oh
then
fuck,
like,
you're screwed.
and then you're just in the ocean swimming until you run out of stam, and you can bet your bottom dollar you're not making it back to shore. And then you lose all your
God.
stuff. And then you got to go out there and make a new boat. And I tell you, dude, making a new boat in that game isn't as easy as it may sound. You have to make like a fairly decent sized boat. You're not making something that you're gonna take a paddle on, right? So dude, like it was bad. Sometimes you'd just be like, all right, that boat's gone and I lost all my stuff. I'm not going back out there. It was bad. But it was pretty cool if you had a crew with you. If you had a crew with you, it wasn't too bad. But you did have like boat fights. That was pretty dope. And you could like rob people just like an Ark and stuff like that, PvP and all that jazz. Pretty cool. It was fun, but definitely a crew game. But I guess you can kind of say the same for Ark. But anyways, before we actually got in here, I asked him the usual question I ask everybody. What was the first console that was in your life? And you repeated, or you not repeat, but you said back to me that the first one that you really found yourself getting into was the PlayStation 2, correct?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
that was the first console I really played on, so that was the only one I could really get into at the time. So,
gotcha.
but I
And what
I
game?
love I love playing the games on there.
And what games was it that you were playing that actually kicked off your gaming career per se?
Well, it's kind of like a few different games, okay? Because me and my cousin, we were kids, so we didn't really work. We couldn't really afford like other games. We just got like what my cousin had like for his PS2, right?
Okay,
And what we played was mostly the original Ratchet and Clank, uh, Midnight Club. I forgot what is it, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. I think it was the third one.
goat. That's a
Yeah,
goat game right there.
and Simpsons Hit and Run. Those were the three games we really just enjoyed playing the most. Like, sure, we had like a few like sports titles, but those are the games that we just truly enjoyed. Mostly Midnight Club, because like the car customization in that game was just truly insane.
Yeah, it was like from the tires to the paint to the subwoofers that you had in your car.
Yeah.
Like it
And not to
was,
mention, you could customize the neon lights underneath the car, the tints on the windows. It
dude.
was just it was just massive.
Dude, they really need to like, man, if they remade that game, like even if they put new music in the game, even though that music in that game was
It was good.
it was good. You ain't lying, dude. It was just it really put you in that seat and you were ready to just roll, man. Ready to get down. And I got down on that game a lot. I'm pretty sure I put down most other games just to play that one. But
Yeah.
I currently own that on Xbox and PS2 now, because I was just because when I first started like collecting some of these consoles, I seen it at a store for like $10 for PlayStation 2, and I was like, gotta have that. Bought it, and then like a week later, I seen somewhere else I went to had a copy for Xbox for like $15, and I was like, you know what? It for me it runs better, and I'm able to listen to my own music on the Xbox, so I chose to buy that one, and now I have two copies of it. I'm not even mad.
You're lucky you can play it on Xbox because of the backwards compatibility.
No,
I
no,
was
no, no.
thinking
I
about...
can't play it on my Series X. I have to play it
Oh,
on
you
my
can.
original Xbox. I don't think there's backwards compatibility for that game, because if there
Ah,
was,
damn.
I'd be playing it tonight.
I'd be
if
playing that game all day, every day.
right, if they did like a FPS boost on that game, see you later. I'm getting down. It was just so good, and just driving around the city was pretty fun too. You
Yeah.
can really get down.
You see, I never realized that they actually added they actually had different maps to the Midnight Club games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like me and my cousin mostly just drove around like the first two like areas, because we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just having fun with racing.
Yeah,
So
you were pretty young at that time, right?
yeah, yeah.
Got it. So that was the first console that you got into. Now walk me through some of your life and how you like got into it. So like what was like the next console that you got, and
Well, of
continue
course,
from there.
like I told you before, my very first console that I owned was my PS3, the PS3 original fat version, right?
Okay.
And the way I got that was because like my mom bought it for me and my dad to play, because my dad was also a huge gamer at the time.
Oh,
So
that's very helpful.
yeah, so of course when he like, because he also worked, he didn't really have time to use it, so I ended up using it, and I mean, we couldn't really buy that many games, so I just kept enjoying like whatever games I had, which was like, okay, I'm trying to remember correctly because like it's been a long time, and I got rid of some of the games, but I believe like the first one we had was it was like a PS2 game that was backwards compatible, since of course it was the fat PS3, right?
Right.
It was like this Transformers game based on this show called Transformers Energon, and I had that game. I had Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Okay.
Oh, no, not 3. It was the first one. It was the first one, and uh, I also had Genji something that launched with the PS3. I don't know if you remember that E3 show where Sony talked about the giant enemy crabs. I got that game.
Bro, I was so out of touch with Sony by the PS3. Like once I went to the buddy's house and he showed me his Xbox, I ended up turning in my PS2 because I went to like a GameStop type place, turned it in, got an Xbox, and I didn't come back to PlayStation until PS5. So I completely missed out on a lot of PlayStation. I'm catching back up with them now. Like I got a PS3, I got a PS5, and I got a PS2. So I'm running through and playing some games. Definitely enjoying it, but like I completely missed out. So if you ask me a lot of questions about PS3 or PS4 games, you're probably gonna be bringing me or putting some
Yeah,
knowledge into
fair
my
enough, fair
head.
enough. Well, yeah, I mean, even though I had those games, like, and even though I played a lot of games like on like, well, the games that we had on the PS2, right? The game that really got me into gaming was Kingdom Hearts 2, and my dad got that because he actually found a copy and bought it and just brought it home one time, and he thought I would like it because I mean, I'm a kid. I was still like young, and of course I like Disney, so I decided to try the game out because I saw Donald Duck and I saw Goofy, not knowing there was a first game. So I went into that game not knowing anything about the first game, and I played the sequel. But that game I just love, and to this day, the Kingdom Hearts franchise remains my truly favorite game series ever because
So,
it is
oh
what got me
wow,
into gaming.
ever.
Yeah,
So
just
are
Kingdom
you?
Hearts 2 is just that good to me.
So what are you thinking about the new one?
The new one, I mean, okay, so the new Kingdom Hearts, I'm kind of a little bit, I'm kind of hesitant on it because the last Kingdom Hearts game that released, Kingdom Hearts 3, it just felt really off because like the the director Tetsuya Nomura, he kind of he kind of goes balls to the walls when it comes to the game and kind of just throws everything like from his ideas at these games. And not to mention, he's still kind of upset about his Final Fantasy Versus 13 that was canceled a long time ago, which turned into Final Fantasy 15. So he's trying to put some of those ideas from Versus 13 into Kingdom Hearts, and I'm kind of worried on how that's actually going to turn Kingdom Hearts, or what it's going to be turning into.
Fair enough. That, I mean, so you're saying he's developing a game while being
It's just a
salty at
jumbled
the
mess
same
right
time.
now. Yeah.
He's salty about the last game, and now he's throwing it in your game, and you ain't liking it.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at you for that, but that's just kind of funny a little bit. But hopefully, I don't know. When does that new one come out?
I don't even think they ever released they put out a date for it. They just kind of just said that they're working on it now.
Yeah, they're definitely leaning into like an ultra like realistic kind of game
Yeah, and that was
feel.
never Kingdom Hearts' style. Just like I'm like, what is this? But I
It's
won't
funny.
lie, from what I saw from like the trailer, it looked cool. At least the combat looked cool. But
Oh
that's
man.
about it. I need to see more. Just need to see more.
All right. All right. So let me know what happened after the PS3. What direction did you end up going? Did you continue down PlayStation and get the PS4 then, or did you
Yeah.
start getting more into PC? Or let me know.
Well, of course, since my dad was a gamer, he knew about the PS4, and he knows that I play games, especially because I was playing Kingdom Hearts 2 a lot, and he also bought Rock Band for me and my cousins too to play. So we're playing that. So the logical thing for my parents to do was get me the PS4 right when I was getting into high school, because that's legitimately right when it came out, the year I entered my first year of high school. So they got me that, and I had a few games to play for that, and then I started working during the summer times during high school at my mom's law office, just helping her do her stuff for her work, and so I started getting money, and I started paying for my own games at that point.
Okay. So you're burning a hole in your wallet now. You're seeing how it feels.
Yes.
So you didn't want to miss. You didn't. You didn't want to make a miss. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially because it was my first time like having a console all to myself, and like being able to buy games. I didn't want to miss out on any new games that are coming out because on the PS3 generation, I missed a lot because I wasn't able to afford anything, you know?
Fair. Yeah. So now we're moving kind of towards the current generation. And where's your head at? Are you strictly PS5? Are you leaning towards more the PC? Did you start playing more Xbox
Well,
now or
oh, okay. The PC mindset I kind of always had because again, my dad was a gamer, so he knew where to play. He knew what games to play, and he like when I was still young, he had his own PC that he would actually emulate games on. He would just like uh he had his
sound
websites
like
where
you
he
had a
would
pretty
find like
dope
these games.
dad?
Yeah, yeah. So he would emulate games on his PC and let me play them, and that's how I got into PC gaming, right? So eventually, the original PC we had, it just eventually broke down because it stopped working. Because old age will do that to some parts,
Oh yeah.
and he never really bothered to fix it. So when I graduated high school, well, no. Let me retract that because it was my final year of high school, right? And I was going into a video game design class because I wanted to learn about how to make video games because I'm kind of still trying to figure out like what I want to do as a career at this point, right?
Got it.
And I thought, because I enjoy video games, I enjoy playing them. I thought, why not try to make one? Let me just say it did not work out because I didn't really like going through that process of actually trying to make a game. But yeah, so I needed a PC in order to actually make a game because before I was just using my mom's laptop, which making games on a laptop that's not meant for games is pretty difficult. You can imagine, right?
Yeah, I can only imagine how painful that would actually be, especially with a like a mouse or like a trackpad or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So basically, they realized they had to give me a PC, and like before this, I'd actually asked during the year for like I wanted to get a PC just specifically to play games because I wanted to get back into PC gaming ever since our computer died because we never had a computer ever since that one broke down.
Okay.
So that's what kind of got that. Like when I got my PC, I downloaded Steam immediately and downloaded a few games that I would play like for free on the PS4, right? So I downloaded them on my Steam account, and so that kind of led me just to like play on my PC again. But I would still play PS4 games, but like it wasn't like I wouldn't be buying that many games like on my PS4 because all my money was going to the Steam sales because those Steam sales are fucking good when they happen.
Yeah. They
Like
be
you get your
dropping them
70,
games way down.
80% off, 90% off fucking deals. It is just insane how low those like games can go on Steam. So my money was just going into Steam, but I was still putting like some money on the side for like PS4 exclusives or like some PS4 games, that I really enjoyed, like Kingdom Hearts 3. But going into the PS5, I kind of just now use it mostly for like it's exclusives because I buy all my stuff on my PC. But like when it comes to games I really want to see like 4K or like the new graphics, I'll buy it on my PS5. Because like my PC doesn't have ray tracing or anything. It's a GTX 1070, so it's only capable of 1080p gaming.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with 1080p gaming.
No, yeah,
I have a buddy
but
that strictly only likes to play on 1080p because he can get the highest frames.
no, yeah, I prefer frame rates over visuals any day. But just like when it comes to the new stuff, like if it's something I really want, like right now I want the Harry Potter game, so I'm gonna get that for my PS5 just to enjoy it visually,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be an intense game when it comes out here at the end of the year. I think that's slated for December, if I'm right.
It's slated for the winter.
So it's just winter right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it'd be December, but I don't know. I'm sure it'll be somewhere around Black Friday.
Yeah.
Somewhere
probably
around that. Maybe like a week before, like a week after it or something. Kind of like Cyberpunk and stuff like that. But hopefully it doesn't drop like that. Hopefully it doesn't drop like Cyberpunk. Ain't nobody got time for that.
To God not.
Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, bro. So just now that we kind of got your story behind, how you kind of navigated your way through gaming, tell me why did it end up being so important to you specifically? Like what really caught your eye? Was it the first time you played PS2, or did you have like an amazing experience? I mean, I know you talk about Kingdom Hearts. Was that specifically it that got you into it that deep?
No, yeah, that was it. Because just the story and the experience got me I wasn't expecting something that good at the time. Because like when I played games, I didn't really pay attention to them, right? But I was old enough to understand now, like when I got Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe I was like around, I believe I was around like 15 or 16, right? When I was getting into it, because I don't know, just something about that story just hit, especially because I was graduating from middle school into high school, so I had lost touch with some friends that was of course that were close I was close to, and that game is all about friendships and connections, and through that game, I actually found people in high school that were actually into the game too, and I managed to make new friends. So that game has a personal connection to me, just because like it's something I managed to bond with people, just like make friends with, just because of people who like that game.
Yeah, that's pretty tight. That's dope. Now I kind of want to shift over to a different direction because now, I mean, I mean, it has everything to do with games, but I want to know like what drove you to start making content for that. Like what sparked your mind to be like, I want to start talking about these games and not only just games, but I want to talk about like just media in general.
Okay, so now that's actually kind of a tricky thing for me because there was a lot that actually went into the mind to actually start my YouTube channel. Originally, I just did it just for the fun of it, but I kind of just like because I watched a lot of YouTubers, right? Because I'm still young, so I watch a lot of content creators on YouTube post stuff that I enjoy. So I thought I kind of want to do this. I want to create my own like audience. I want to have like a fan base that enjoys like the stuff I make because it it's pretty nice to see people grow their own communities, have people that like say how much like they actually enjoy your content. So I just want to do it for the fun of it. At the same time, I also want to try to grow my brand because I also want to see like if I can make money off of YouTube too at the same time eventually. Like
Yeah, that's the
monetary
dream.
isn't my like it's not my main goal right now because I know it's gonna be hard for like eventually like once I'm up there like when I have enough subscribers to make money. But like right now it's just like I wanted to do it for fun. But I wanted to do gaming because it's the thing I did the most. So I wanted to just share my passion with games. Just wanted to like post like any moments I could with gaming on my YouTube channel. And originally I didn't want to just like talk about the content. Originally I just wanted to do like funny moments, but I didn't really have the equipment to like truly record. I mean, I had the PS4, which is when I really started getting into making YouTube videos because of the video editor on there. But I didn't really like it because it was like restrictive, compared to like using actual video editors where you can do a lot more.
Yeah.
So when I got my PC, I realized not only do I have the games that I can play, especially I can find the games that I want to play on YouTube, but I can also share it the way I wanted to originally. So that's what got me to start like recording videos on my PC and on my PS4 too, which I would just like transfer the footage over onto my PC eventually to edit. And from there, I kind of just evolved from just like where I was originally just posting like phone videos, just recording from like on a cell phone. I know it wasn't exactly the perfect way to do videos at first because I had the PS4, but I was just so against using the PS4 fucking software.
Why? Like, what about it just frustrated you? Because, like I
I don't
said,
know. I was just
I completely skipped the PS4.
I don't know. It was just because like I wanted a true video editor. I just wanted something I could just like actually edit sound effects because like you can't do sound effects on the PS4 without cutting audio to clips in like from like your from like video games that you record on the PS4.
Right.
So it just
Fair
kind
enough.
of sound terrible, you know?
Gotcha. So that's kind of what got you into creating it. And now what's like the direction that you're going to be taking said content? Because you said that you kind of been taking a break because of school. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, my direction hasn't really changed. It's just more been about the timing, right? About like posting my content. But
Okay.
like originally I wanted to do like news videos, which got me into doing like commentary, which got me into this community. But I realized like doing that is kind of hard to make like to kind of like put yourself out there to make yourself different because there's a lot of people just putting out like news like gaming news videos, right? So it's kind
Hmm.
of just a competitive market. So instead, I kind of just wanted to go back to my original idea of just posting funny gameplay moments, just edited, right? Because like I can put my personality into my editing, and I could put that out there, and it'll grab people's attention. But at the same time, I still want to do the news, so I created my podcast for that.
All right. Your plans here in the future is to continue to do some some fun and funny edits and stuff like that, if I'm right. And you're kind of gonna dabble with the news. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. Okay, so I've been dabbling with the news since I've been doing my podcast. I still do that, but like, uh, just my plan for my content going forward. I will post like a few like news videos here and there, but like mostly I'm gonna just be doing funny moments videos.
Okay. Now, okay, that's more clear for me to understand. Got it. All right. So now we're gonna shift it away from your history, or actually, we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the history, but we're gonna shift away from the content creating and all that stuff. We're gonna go and I want you to tell me just one generation of gaming that you would want to live in of all time. So is there a generation that you feel that you missed, or do you or is there a generation that you just want to literally just go back and just pick apart?
Okay, I've actually thought about this before, and I mean, originally I thought the PS3 because like I couldn't afford any of the games that came out back then. But like looking back, I think I would say the PS2 because that's just like a lot of good games are out back then. There
Yeah.
was just so many good games. It was just I just want to go back because like you can't like a lot of the games like you can't play anymore. You can't find them on like any stores anymore because like a lot of people love those games back then. So like when you try to go back and rebuy them, it's just going to be cost a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it's just really in the last few years that these game prices have shot up for some of these like PS2 games and Xbox games and like GameCube games. Because I mean, if you peel back the sticker on a lot of these games, they were really cheap. Because you'll see like
yeah,
a sticker before it, and you'll be like, hold on, this game I just dropped $70 on was $10. Like you almost feel silly after you do that. You're like, man, I got wrecked.
yep.
Oh man, but it just kind of is what it is, especially the older things get. And gaming is more loved now than ever before. So these consoles and these games that people adored truly that aren't being made anymore are now like not only are they hard to get, but they're extremely valuable to 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 us as gamers, but also to these companies like GameStop and stuff like that. Like they're taking everything that they can possibly get. They are milking the customers. That's for sure. Because those were the people that were selling those games for $10 not that long ago. You
No,
know.
yeah.
So it's just interesting to watch how it evolves, and it's frustrating, but then again, it gives you a certain amount of respect for these games and stuff like that. Because who?
You know what too?
What's up?
Nintendo games are the worst culprit of this kind of price hike
Oh
because
yes.
they've Nintendo games have never gone down. They just go constantly up in price.
They go the opposite way. Like, yeah, you find a sale on Nintendo, you did a damn good job, or you were in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
Because it's incredibly rare that you get a game for not like the regular or MSRP price or whatnot.
Yeah, I've been trying to rebuy the Pokemon games because I missed out on the DS
Oh
generation.
yeah, freaking good
And
luck, buddy.
yeah. I like how much people are selling the fucking Pokemon games. It's just like, oh fuck. I'm gonna have to drop
20
like a
grand
couple hundred on this.
later. You're gonna drop a pretty penny for some of those games. That's for damn sure. Especially like the Game Boy ones and some of the 64 games were extremely expensive as well. In GameCube, the GameCube games are starting to really rise up, man.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, GameCube games like they're hard to find, and they're really expensive if you do find them. If it's not like a terrible game,
Oh god.
like for
I remember
instance,
because I know the GameCube wasn't that bad before because of how like nobody really liked it at the time
oh yeah,
because like it was just like it didn't really have that many games after Nintendo decided to just move on.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Like Mario Party is insane. Dude, I seen somebody charging $80 for NBA Street Volume 2 for GameCube. And I was just like, dude, that's a third party game. Why are you doing this? And they're just like, oh, because, it just so happened to be the place that I was working at the time. And I was just like, why are we doing this to people? Because we were also, because I was thinking we were just ripping people off. But come to find out that GameCube games are just very valuable to resell. But I thought it was us being assholes because we were also selling an Xbox One S digital for over $300 after the Series S, X, and PS5 were out. And I looked at my boss and I was like, dude, like this is disrespectful. Like I don't like that we're doing this. And he's like, well, it's not my choice, it's the boss above me choice. Of course, the lingo and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I mean, I still didn't like it, and I was just like, dude, there's no way that anyone's gonna buy this. Dude, the same day somebody walked in and bought that. More expensive than a Series S. Xbox One S. Not the One X. The One S. Digital. So you couldn't even put a disc in it. I was blown away when I heard that. I was freaking blown away. Because I literally just sat back and watched somebody buy it, and I was like biting my nails.
I was like, do you really want to buy this? Do you really want to buy this?
Yeah, like my heart was telling me, go run over there and stop that sale. Like that's not right. But at
My
the same
mom
time,
was telling me no.
yeah, but my body. Oh, got it. We got some R. Kelly going on. I hope the chat's enjoying it. But anyways, so PS2 would be something that you'd like to relive that whole generation. Especially since you were hella young, when you got to enjoy it. So going back and playing all those games, it was a third party monster. So now I'm kind of curious and I mean, you may have talked about this, but let's maybe try to think of something else. What was like a most memorable moment back in your time of gaming? And this can be anything from like, a podcast where you had a really dope guest, or you went to a gaming event, or you and your homies were all at the crib playing a game and it was just like an unbelievable experience. Anything but Kingdom Hearts, hit me with it.
You know what? I've actually never really thought about this. I mean, sure, I have my moments with friends, but like, I honestly think, my best moments were probably like when I played Rock Band with my cousins. Just when they would come over because we would just enjoy playing Rock Band. Cause playing that game with family members and like just like my cousins, it was just fun at the time because you could just like rock out to the music that was in the game.
Yeah, you're just sitting there playing In Bloom by
especially because my
by
parents
Nirvana.
actually bought like my parents actually bought the entire set. They bought the microphone, the drum set, the guitar, so we had it all. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing the drums, to be honest, the most.
Really, I see. I have a pair of the drums now, and I also have the guitar. But my drum set, I didn't know it until after I bought it. It's for the Xbox One, and my guitar is for my 360. I have both of those consoles, yeah, but like I'm really curious if my wired guitar is gonna work with the Xbox One. I'm a little worried about that right now. So if anybody in the chat knows, does your 360 guitar work in the Xbox One? I'm kind of curious to know that. Either way, I'm gonna buy I think it's Rock Band 4 that's on Xbox One. I'm gonna get it regardless. But I need to know, y'all. Do I need to go get a new guitar, or am I good with the one that I got? But anyways, continuing on. So continue with your memorable moment with Guitar Hero or not Guitar Hero, but Rock Band and whatnot.
Just something about like playing that game because me and this one cousin, right? We'd actually kind of created our own characters, our own like little band because you could create characters in the Rock Band, right?
Right.
So we would just like try to do the songs, try to do as best we could. We would just try to compete, see who would do the best in that game. And it was just a really dope time when we came to playing that game with other people.
Yeah.
And
Too
especially
big
because
of a
it actually had like a little
chance.
competitive mode too. You could actually compete against other people.
Yeah, did it have an online? Did it have an online? I didn't even care to check because I mean,
Yeah,
I ain't
it
going
did.
online on Xbox One or Xbox 360 at this point.
Yeah, it did have an online actually.
Oh man, did you play on it online?
I didn't. I didn't.
Okay, because I was wondering like if it was laggy or anything like that. I'm sure it had some issues.
Nah, because actually my parents actually played it because I told you my mom bought the PS3 for me and my dad, but I ended up using it the most. But whenever they use it, they would play like once in a while. So they use Rock Band because uh, aunt of mine was dating a boyfriend who had a PS3, and they of course had Rock Band too. So they decided just to play against each other.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, very good game though too, and the camaraderie in that game is dope because I remember when that game came out, I wasn't like I didn't run out and buy it or anything like that, but I'd go like to my friend's house because he had the whole he had multiple guitars, right? So we'd play on there and like man, you'd get to sweat and play in that game because it's like like you'd be like, all right, I'm ready to play and whatnot, and you'd hop on there and you'd be like all energized, and by the end of the song, man, you'd be smoked sometimes.
It also depends on the fucking difficulty. Like the difficulty in Guitar Hero, people just they go hard on that game.
Yes. Yeah, they're making them guitar breaking sounds with it. It sounds like they're about to snap that axe. It's pretty good though. It's all in good fun. But moving forward, I'm just kind of wondering. I asked you the question about a genre that you would stick with for a while, right? Now I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you the opposite question. What genre within gaming would you walk away from first?
You know what? I know I'm probably gonna get. I know someone's gonna probably hate this, but
Oh,
I
here
gotta
comes the
say
smoke. Here it
FPS
comes.
games.
First person shooters?
Yep.
Oh, man. See, I thought you were a fan of. I thought you liked Halo, though.
I mean, I play for fun, but I'm just like not that big of a fan into the FPS genre. I enjoyed COD for a while, but it's just kind of like I moved
Oh,
on from it.
I totally get the COD thing. I'm with COD. I've been with COD all the
I tried
way
I
since
tried
Modern Warfare
Battlefield.
3.
I tried Battlefield. Eh, yeah, wasn't really into it.
I think you're with a lot of people in that thought process. I think a lot of people are thinking about Battlefield. It's kind of it's not as exciting as I was thinking it was gonna be when they announced it and then dropped, or especially when they dropped it in like the worst shape possible. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Battlefield doesn't get me excited.
don't get me wrong. I mean, there are a few gems in like the FPS genre, like Doom, like the recent Doom games. Like those are pretty fun, but like those are just like few and far between. There's not that many like great, truly like. There's not that many like great genres in the FPS like world, like right now at least.
So what is it about Halo that you find fun compared to some of these other
It's not really that
FPS
fun. It's not
games?
really that I find it like the whole game fun. Like I mean, like the multiplayer is just fun because I could just play with friends. We just fuck around sometimes because we could do our own little setup matches where we just like either use all melee weapons or just like all specific snipers or just like we could just set it to how we want. So we could just play and have fun. That's about. You could do that with any game, really, even if it's a shitty game.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So now we know that you don't like first person shooters, which is something. I mean, in the chat, you're not actually getting hated on. People are agreeing with you. Too Big says same, and Stank Moss says the exact same thing. Like they're not that big into first person shooters. I like first person shooters, but I can't take them serious. That's where I'm at with them. Like I already know that I'm probably not the best person in the game. I already know that from the start whenever I turn on one of those things and whatnot. So I'm just running around laughing and goofing off. And like, I'll take it serious if I have, a good team around me. But other than that, like,
I can actually enjoy it when a game lets you like do that, just like mess around in the world, like Far Cry. I'll enjoy the game if it lets me just fuck around like that.
Like, that's why I'm excited for Forge.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Because give me Griffball back. That was a game that was just hilarious. For some reason, I found myself laughing and yelling in anger in the same games, like sometimes within 5 seconds of each other. And that's the kind of fun that I kind of like to have in video games. Like if you ever see me like streaming or playing Rocket League, like I get furious when I play Rocket League. I get super angry.
You want a rage inducing game? I got a recommendation now.
Oh, what you got?
So my friend gifted me this game a while back ago because he saw this YouTuber called Markiplier play it, right? I don't know if you follow who he is. He's like a big YouTuber. But he played this game called
definitely toss me his link though afterwards because I'm kind of curious in looking into him if you say he's pretty good.
But the game he played was Pogo Stuck. So it's practically you play as someone who's just hopping around on a pogo stick. You have to like jump across the level, like you're just going in a path, right? Kind of like a platformer, like a 2D side-scrolling platformer game.
Okay.
Except you're doing it on a pogo stick, but you can't fuck up if you touch anything but the little part that is supposed to jump on the pogo stick. You just basically fall and knock yourself over.
And now, do you have to restart completely from the beginning of the level if that happens?
No, but there is no save points. Like there are these checkpoints where like it will make sure like you stay where you are once you log out. But if you fall and you quit there, you're staying there until you can get back to where you're trying to go to.
Oh, so where you fall is like, I'm guessing where you fall is where you previously was.
Kinda. So basically, like if you fall, like you're gonna just like because the game is based on like you're just going on a like slowly, like you're just jumping upwards, just going on like on practically like if you're walking up a mountain, right?
Okay.
But if you slip and fall, you're gonna go back down like to where you didn't want to go to. So you're gonna have to go all the way back up. So you just like have to go back. You just have to do this insanely parkour like type of tricks to get back up this like mountain, right?
Oh man, that game sounds frustrating, and I'm not even playing
it. I was kind of into it for a little bit because it was just so raging. Like I was just like, I'm gonna beat this fucking level. I was just playing it just out of the fucking rage.
Got it. Yeah. I don't know about that game, man. I don't know if I'm ready to dive myself into that because that sounds. I don't know. That's the best I can do for it. But let's dive into last year, 2021, and I'm just kind of curious, what games did you play last year?
Last year? Like, does it have to be new games or like, does it like can we just like in general like games that I played last year?
I'm gonna be a stickler and I'm gonna say new games.
Hmm. Okay.
I can hear you scrolling. You're like, I'm gonna look and see what I was playing.
Nah. It's, besides the PS5 games, like the launch PS5 games that launched with it,
Hmm.
uh, I really didn't buy that many new games that like last year. I mostly just because I've been mostly just like saving up for Steam sales now, because like it's just like what like why pay for a new game that costs $70 or $60 when I could pay for a bunch of games that cost that much?
That's fair. That's a fair thought process if you're into playing. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with playing some older or cheaper games. There ain't nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
at all. Keeping up with the Joneses is a trap in video games. That's how you go broke
Yeah.
really fast, because you'll end up seeing the game that you just paid $70 2 months ago on sale for 30. And
You know what? I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Okay, so I had bought the fucking Darksiders collect like games on Steam, and I bought them like they were a little bit on sale. They weren't they were like it was like 10 to like $20, right? That I paid for like the first two games. Little did I know that not only would they be added to PS Plus, but they would also be added on Twitch Prime, Epic Games Store, and fucking GOG. So I got them for free everywhere else.
Oh man. But you literally paid. Oh man, whoops. Fail. Big fail though.
Yeah. And the same thing happened to me when I bought Control. I bought it I believe I bought it last year. I think around like January. I bought it, and
Hmm.
then a few months into the PS5, it
Yep.
comes out,
Yep.
and then it hits Epic Games Store. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why does this keep happening?
Yep, I remember that because I thought about buying that game because I was playing it on my Xbox. It was in Game Pass, just the regular version was, and then they dropped. The PS5 ended up having it on PS Plus with the Ultimate Edition on there, and you could play it on. It is a lot nicer looking because, like I said, I was playing on the original Xbox One version before. So yeah, I definitely remember that time, and I'm sorry for you, bruh. I'm sorry. How did you end up liking that game? Did you finish it?
No, I kind of just started it because like this is the thing with me. If I don't really get into the game, like if I don't really have fun with it, I'm kind of just gonna end up dropping it eventually and just not really completing it.
I did the same thing with Control. Like, it just wasn't there for me. I didn't like the map. There's just something
I
about that map that, like, I felt like
I
I
just
was
kind of find the
running
color. I
around in
just
the
kind of
same
find the colors
rooms.
boring. I really didn't like the colors, and like the combat it was all right. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like really anything like too like it wasn't really anything getting into, you know?
Yeah, it was a great idea, but, like, it felt kind of bare. I feel you on
Yeah.
that. It felt kind of bare where it was like, all right, I've done this same trick, like, 30 times now, and I'm kind of over it.
Now you see, like I can play a game like that if it has the same tricks. Like there's nothing really new, but like if it's really fun, I'm going to just play the heck out of it.
Yeah, but you got
Like
to enjoy where you're at too, and the scenery I feel like in Control makes that
yeah,
repetitive feeling. Like. So for me particularly, like, not only is the gameplay kind of repetitive, but the scenery is really repetitive too. So it
yeah.
just feels like I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over. And those enemies that you're fighting, they don't miss. They do not miss. It feels like.
Yeah.
So
I
the
actually want to
reason.
give you an example.
Oh, go ahead, please.
I actually want to give you an example of like a game that kind of switches things up. Shadow of Mordor. I don't know if you played it, but
Uh-uh.
that game I truly fucking love because that just like the enemy AI is just like I don't know if you've heard, but that game the enemies will actually like adapt to like how you fight them. Like they could come back from the dead and hunt you down, and they could try to kill you. And well, the thing with Shadow of Mordor is that there is no difficulty level, so it's just kind of it's kind of just at your pace, right? You kind of just
Yeah,
like you kind of just
like an
level up,
Elden
get
Ring or
traits.
something like that. Just like there's no
Yeah,
levels really. It's just like you can either catch a fade
yeah.
or
And
you're
the
good
enemies are
now.
so and the enemies are always different personality wise in that game. Like you can run into one enemy that's based on a certain trait, and they'll act as that trait. Like if they're angry, if they're mad, or if they're like just any type of emotion, they'll like portray. It's just that kind of like diversity with the enemies just sold it for me, even though I play like an Assassin's Creed game.
That's funny you bring that up because yeah, I'm assuming you're fighting somebody and they're like, you ain't killing me with that shit again, motherfucker. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's exactly how they act like.
I just gonna cause I sometimes in video games I become like especially in Elden Ring I was like a one trick pony in that game. Like I would literally show up to every boss fight and just hit them with the magic and just dip.
Yeah, because in Shadow of Mordor, they have these traits. Like you have like some that are weak to fire or weak to arrows, and if you die to them enough, they'll come and like you kill them eventually. They'll come back from the dead, and they'll either have an immunity or fear to whatever you use to kill them.
Too big. I do not. I don't even like the way that game sounds. He said try out Geometry Dash if you want to rage out. I don't know what that is, but it
Hey,
has
that's
the
actually a pretty
name.
fun game. It's pretty fun.
I don't know, man. When you kick off the name of a game with something that has to do with math, I'm lost already. I'm not sure if I even want to get into
It's
it.
not. It has nothing to do with math. It's just it's a fun mobile game.
Oh, okay, so it's mobile.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, too big. I'll check it out if you like. I don't know. Send me a link to it on Twitter or something. I'll look into it or whatnot. But or else I'll forget about it, bro. But anyways, the reason I asked you about last year's games is because I wanted you to try to pick 3 games out that you think were good, and then give one the best rating of them all.
You know what? Actually, I think I might say Spider-Man Miles Morales. I actually really did enjoy that game, and I completed it. Even though that's more of a December game for like 20 like no yeah 2021. It came out like around like December to January, right?
Um, what Miles Morales?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Miles Morales was out in November of
Was it?
2020. I'm
I
pretty
think it came
sure.
out
I
in
mean, you
December
can look it up, but I'm pretty sure
because
it
it
was.
came right when the PS5 dropped, right?
Yeah, and that was I think it was like November 14th or 17th or something like that. I don't remember
Okay,
exactly the
okay.
day.
Then you know what? I might just change it because I did enjoy Returnal.
Okay. Yeah, Returnal
I'm
was
a I'm
definitely in 2021.
I'm a huge roguelike fanatic.
Oh, we are different
Uh,
people. We are different people.
I
I
just
am
enjoy
not.
roguelikes for the challenge. I just enjoy roguelikes for the challenge, to be honest. It's just
Oh
fun to go
man.
back to get certain skills and like have different builds that like do different things. Like your attacks can be different or whatever, you know? I just
Bless your
enjoy
heart.
it.
Bless your heart. I just can't, man. Like I've like like the only like one roguelike that I was enjoying a lot was Hades. And then I died a few times and I was like, dude,
Oh,
I
I
just can't
fucking
do
love
this
Hades.
anymore. I just can't do this because I was getting like deep into it. Like, well, I shouldn't say deep. For me, it was far. But like, and another thing is with those kind of games, I don't know where the end is, so I don't know how far I actually am from it. So it's kind of like,
Well, there
uh,
is an endpoint. It just takes a while to get there.
I got all the way to like the lava boss area where there's like a bunch of like, I want to say they're like snakes or something like that. There's like 6 of them or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I'm not. I can't remember because it's been a while now since I've was last on it.
Oh man, I almost beat it and then I lost, and then the game was like, go back to the beginning, and I was like, fuck no, and I deleted it.
Wait. Let me get this straight. So you can play a game like Elden Ring, no problem. Even though that's another rage-inducing game, but
There's a site of
oh my God, it's
grace
a
in Elden
roguelike.
Ring. There's a site of grace in Elden Ring. I die, I respawn, and then I run right back into the fight. In Hades, you don't do that. You die and then have to do 30 levels before you get back to where you were.
You know, there is a certain trait in that game that lets you revive at least once during the boss fights, or whenever you get killed. It'll revive you once, but after that, you're going back. You're going back, son.
Yeah, I don't want to go back. I'm good. I'm not gonna download that game again.
Oh, I saw a question from Too Big. Let me answer this real quick. Yes, I absolutely love Binding of Isaac. That was my first. That was actually what got me into the roguelike genre. Just that, especially on PC, because the mod community for that game is just insane. Because they actually have mods that add like more story to the game. Like they could practically act as DLC.
Yeah, that sounds similar to like Skyrim. They got that kind of stuff in there too, where it's like a mod is they actually got whole level mods. I learned that from Hard Days Mike, that they got whole level mods where it's like you like a whole different part of the map that's just made up.
Yeah,
and I think that's insane. That's insane that the community is allowed to like implement stuff in games like that. Really cool, and I'd like to see more of it. In fact, like let's erase the definitive edition and let's give it to the modders because
yes, exactly.
That GTA was just pissed.
Fucking Rockstar. They went the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, man. Just and yeah. They're just getting that money. That's for sure. But so you said Returnal for last year, and what did you have two others?
I did have Ratchet and Clank too.
Okay. So you really enjoyed Ratchet and Clank.
Not as much as I did Returnal, because like I played it, it was alright, dropped it. I really can't get into the combat. Like I will drop it. Like it was alright, but it's just like it just wasn't for me, you know.
No, Too Big. I don't even know what that is. Calirex, let me know what Risk of Rain is.
Isn't that the kind of Telltales-ish like game from a Quantic Dream?
All right, Too Big. It's your time to answer up, bruh. So while he answers up, what's the third game that you got for?
Oh no! Never mind. Risk of Rain. That's another roguelike game. I was thinking of another game that had.
Yeah, I
rain in
assumed
it.
he meant roguelike because that's the whole subject that you guys are on. But yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, Risk of Rain is fucking addicting. I got into it not that long ago, and right now I'm off of the game, but when I go back to it, I go back into it hard because like the game is kind of just endless in terms of like because it's more round based. Like you survive a certain amount of like ways that are thrown at you, and then you head into the next level where the game wants you to go. You survive a certain amount of like ways that are thrown at you in that level, go into the next one. So it's just practically endless, and it gets harder over time.
And it's a roguelike, so yeah. I'm sorry, Too Big. You can miss me with it, bruh. I'm good. I got plenty of stuff to play. I'm good.
You can't play the original, which is more like a 2D platformer, like like Dead Cells.
I'm good, dog. I'm good. But I'm guessing, like, did you even say a third game?
My third.
We already know what the best game you got. All right, so we're just gonna leave it with those two because you're gonna pick Returnal no matter what, even if you do think of another game. I was wondering if you got into like Guardians of the Galaxy or Forza.
Actually, I bought that this year when it was on sale.
Okay, what do you think?
I fucking love it. The comedy in that game is great. The combat, I mean, it's not really the best, but it's like
No, it's not the
it's
best.
enjoyable.
But yeah. I mean, that's what it kind of is. It's just teamwork.
I just enjoy it for the charm of the fucking acting, like the story in that game, the fucking comedy. It is just perfect.
Yeah, the choices that you get to pick. Oh man, it's like an RPG. No, I'm just kidding. It's not like an RPG.
No, but I will say, one of the choices it gave me was fucking hilarious. I don't know if you remember that option where it gave you to fucking throw a rocket across a ravine.
Oh yeah, and
I
I chose not to do it. Did you do it?
Yes, yes. When I chose to do it the first time, he got pissed, so he wouldn't let me do it the second time.
Yep, I chose not to do it, and like I got points from Rocket for not doing it. He was like, "Thanks for not doing that to me." But old Calirex over here toss him up across the from
Like,
one end
I
to
was like,
another.
I was like, fuck this! I'm not going the long way, but you're going tossed.
You so damn disrespectful. All right, so now I want to kind of get a little bit deeper into what you enjoy, and I just kind of want to know like a favorite studio of yours, and it can be a studio that's either currently going on or one that's shut down. It doesn't matter. I want to know what your favorite studio is and what game best represents that studio.
You know what? I'm gonna say, I mean, this is. You said it could either be a studio that shut down, right?
Yeah, it can be
Too.
an old studio if you want. Like one of, if not my favorite studio was Midway. Really liked Midway. They're gone now though.
I'm gonna say Pandemic Studios, the original studio behind Battlefront
Oh wow,
on Battlefront 2. I fucking love the Battlefront games, especially
dude,
as a Star Wars
those were
fan.
fantastic. That's actually where I got the name Ham Solo from.
Really?
Yeah, my
Hmm.
cousin, my cousin, which some of you guys in the chat know him as Homeless Man on on Xbox. That's his gamer tag now because he lost his previous gamer tag because he's a toxic asshole. But yeah, yeah. He came downstairs when I lived at this old house back in Lincoln, Nebraska, where I grew up, and I had like a party house back then, right? Like people came by and we drank and we had beer bongs and we just got nuts but like when it wasn't crazy in the house with parties and stuff like that, it was just like game central, right? Like Xbox. My buddy Jordan would always bring over his PS3. I had the OG Xbox and like we just got down on games all the time. But there was a time where he left for like he left my house like because I mean we were drinking all night and he needed somewhere to stay. Jeez, Solo, get the fuck out of here, too big. But anyways, um, yeah, he stayed the night over my crib because can't drive home super drunk at late at night, right? So he went to work from my house and then came back, like 8-9 hours later or whatnot, and I was still playing Battlefront from when he left the house to when he got home. And his thing when he came back downstairs, he'd always rush down the stairs and like push his chest out, and like it was just like a funny thing that he did normally. So he came downstairs, pushed his chest out, and he said, "God damn, you're still playing Battlefront?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you know it." And he's like, "Man, you are going ham solo." And I was like, "You know what? That's a fucking dope name." So I took it and ran with it from then. And I've had that name, I
Ah,
want to say, since like 2012 or something like that. But yeah, I literally just thought it was pretty dope. He made it. I'll give him his props. But yeah,
someone's calling you Cheese Solo
yeah,
private in the
yeah,
game.
yeah. I see
I'm
that.
chat.
I see that because my cousin, like I said, he's kind of a troll, and he is like talking about Because he lost his last profile from being just an asshole in Rocket League, because you can type in whatever you want, and he was typing in
Oh.
whatever he wanted. Like after we'd score a goal, he would just trash on the other team like hard in the chat. And he was telling me, is like, I can still change my gamer tag. This is a gamer tag name that they gave me, and I just kind of took it. And I was like, really? They gave you homeless man as a gamer tag? He's like, and so he's like, yeah, I can still change it or whatnot. And then I think it was him that said that he's like, I should hate on you and change my name to Cheese Solo so we can be ham and cheese. And I was like, fuck you, man. like he's just trying to troll me. He's just an asshole, but I love that guy. He's very funny and fun to be around for sure. So I don't want to just throw him down too much. He's a dope dude, but very controversial, and he likes to talk more than he probably should. But anyways, dope pick for the favorite studio. Yes, absolute. Battlefront was a fantastic game that many people know of and many people have played.
I will say too, like the recent Battlefront games from EA just don't even come close to how fun like the original Battlefront 2 was.
They don't hit right. They feel very, like to me, it feels like I'm playing Star Wars Battlefield, not Battlefront.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the last Battlefront 2, like it tried to come close, but it still couldn't reach there. I mean, it's good in its own right, but it just doesn't. It still just doesn't come close to the original. It's just missing that fun.
Yeah, I don't even know how they could go about fixing that.
Honestly, no, I've thought about this, and I think they can go back and like find that original Battlefront 3 idea that was supposed to release, but it was scrapped. Because like Battlefront 3. Like I don't know if you ever saw like the leaked gameplay footage way back when, but like Battlefront 3 was just like on a whole another level. It tried to keep what was good about the original Battlefront games, but at the same time it expanded on that, like with ground to space battles. Like you can fight on the ground, but if you wanted to go in a starship and fly into space and like fight like a capital ship,
so there's multiple battlefields, is what you're saying within the same game.
Yeah.
That like, would be interesting.
They took that concept and like did it, and like they reused all the assets in the story for like this PSP game called Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron or something like that. I can't remember which title it was specifically. There was like 2 Battlefront games on the PSP, but they reused the assets and all that for Battlefront 3.
Oh man, Blind's in just the chat, just trolling me. You dirty troll, Blind. Oh my god. Yeah, so another person within the party last night, he always says my name with an Indian accent for some reason, and he thinks it's hilarious. And he's like, Han Solo. Like he always says it like in just the worst, like I don't even think it
sounds like Jabba the Hutt when you say it.
I mean, for goodness sakes, I don't think anybody would actually believe he sounds anything like an Indian person or whatnot. Well, the reason that he does it because he watches a lot of Kit Boga and like stuff like that. So he sees a bunch of internet scamming videos. So he's like,
I actually went into the rabbit hole on that on YouTube.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So he's not like he's not trying to like disrespect, people.
No, yeah.
He's just more or less like making fun of the scammers within the show. And he always says Ham Solo really long and hard and talks about hacking and stuff like that, but like he paid $10 and changed his name to Bill Solo, so he could say it about himself and about me at the same time.
Oh, so that's why they say that in the chat too.
Oh yeah, so that's why you're seeing Bill Solo popping in the chat, and people are they're trolling.
I can tell your viewers like to message you in the chat.
Yeah, they definitely like to stick it to me. which is all right. It doesn't bother me at all. I think it's pretty funny, and it's always fun to engage. But what are you most excited for coming up? So there's a lot of things that's been announced, you know, and I'm not talking about just this year. I'm talking about beyond. So like, if you were to think of any of these games that have been announced that you know of, which one would be the one that you would say that you're most excited for?
The one I'm most excited for is either between Wolverine and Harry Potter. I'm just gonna be
Wolverine,
straight
Harry
honest with that.
Potter. Oh man, that Wolverine's gonna be a minute until it comes out, though.
No, yeah, definitely, but like, still, the fact that they're making another Wolverine game since it's been how long since he's received the game? I mean, like since like the since last generation, like not last generation. I mean the PS3 generation. I mean,
How would you feel if that game came out and it was rated T?
I don't know. I mean, if the combat and the story was good, I'd accept it. I mean, the same thing happened with that Star Wars game. Not last Jedi. Fuck. What was the one under EA?
Fallen Order?
Yeah, Fallen Order. Everyone was complaining about like how if there was no dismemberment, then the game would suck. But like, it came out. It didn't really have dismemberment. I mean, there was a few, like you could chop off a clone's arm, but it was still fun overall.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I am going through that game right now, and I can tell you the one thing that I really dislike is the map system in that game. For some reason,
Why?
like I just don't like it that much. It just it's just, I feel like sometimes you just end up walking in a circle a lot of times. Like you get like each level feels like I'm just going out and then coming back the same way that I started. And
It makes you feel like that. It makes you feel like that at first, but then when you realize it was like, oh wait a minute, I didn't come to this part before.
yeah, most like I always end up running into the same room and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me, and I don't know, this might trigger you a little bit, but it kind of reminds me of Control a little bit. Where it
You
just
know,
kind
I
of,
gotta disagree with that. I gotta disagree.
that's fine. You can disagree with that if you'd like, but I'm just telling you, like, sometimes it feels like I'm going in circles. But the thing that this game has way better than Control is the combat. The combat
No, yeah, definitely.
of Jedi Fallen Order is really fun,
Yes.
it's 100% what's keeping me in the game. But yeah, I feel like I revisit the same spots a lot in that game, and I don't know. I guess I do that. I could say the same thing about Borderlands, but I don't know. Something about the art style and stuff with Borderlands is a little bit more intriguing to me than some of the
Actually,
areas.
you know what? You know what? I actually just bought the entire Borderlands collection,
Okay.
so
Um, I,
I'm planning on delving deep into the Borderlands fucking lore and everything.
I'm gonna tell you. I think I don't know how you might feel, but Borderlands 2 is my favorite one of them all, and I will stand by that until they make a better one.
I actually got Borderlands 2 because I bought the bundle like a few like 2 years back now. I
Okay.
haven't touched it because I've been kind of waiting to get into the first game because I want to go in order for all the games, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Borderlands 1 is really good. 2 is even better. 3 is good.
pre-sequel.
Pre-sequel I didn't like.
Really? Oh, you're
Yeah.
one of those fans. You're one of those fans. Okay.
I just wasn't a big fan of it that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know this game had kind of its split fan base. Like
Uh,
some people either hated it, some people either liked it.
It just wasn't, as big and perfect as because that game came out after 2 did. So like it had a lot to it had a lot to wow me on. Now I'd say this for sure. I think I'd rather play the pre-sequel than Tiny Tina's. I'm not enjoying that game so far at all. Tiny Tina's Wonderland?
Really? You're not?
No, I'm not.
I mean, I heard some people like there's this YouTuber I watched who covers like FPS mostly, and he says it's pretty fun. But I know there's some people that really don't like it though.
Well, let me put it like this: like it's fun when you're engaging in combat in that game, but
Yeah.
there's just so much bouncing around because it feels like because you are playing, like on a board, like you're running around like on a board, essentially, and then you're going into like the dungeons, right?
Yeah.
But but to me, it just gets old after a little while because I get tired of bouncing from load screen to load screen to load screen, and the story isn't my style of story. I want something that's gonna feel like dangerous or something bad could happen, but instead it just feels like a joke. It feels like a running joke that's really running for a long time. And with Borderlands 2 and hell, I'll say any of the Borderlands, like you're worried about like your team and like people dying and like you don't want to lose this person. I don't get that same feeling with Tiny Tina's at all, where I'm like worried about anybody, including my own character, because you make a character in that game compared to Borderlands, where you have like a select characters to choose from, and then they're part of the story, and it just matters a lot because you go from Borderlands 1. Once you get to Borderlands 2, you're playing with different characters, but the
Yeah.
Borderlands 1 characters are a big deal in it, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you. And then you go into Borderlands 3, and the Borderlands 2 characters are a big. Well, the Borderlands 1 and 2 characters are a piece of that game as well. So once I got to Tiny Tina's, I was like, well, this seems pretty cool. This seems really dope. I like it, and I like the combat and the magic and stuff in it. But it just going from load screen and then the story being cheesy and being called a cutie idiot repeatedly is just not. It's just not it. And the game, I mean, maybe it's the rated T thing that bothers me a little bit because it just doesn't
Maybe.
feel. It just doesn't feel as serious
Well, was it? Was
as
it rated M for mature back then? Like when the first game came out?
yeah. I'm pretty sure all the other ones are rated M.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it right now on Steam. It is.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, all of them other than Tiny Tina's is rated M. And
Why
and,
did they
and
rate it? Why?
why what?
Why is it rated T?
Just because it's. I mean, like I said, one of the things you get called in the game is a cutie idiot. Like it's that kind of language, compared to your other Borderlands games where they were a lot more, ruthless sounding and just
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
This one, it feels very childish, and I just don't like that feeling. It kind of pulled me away a little bit. But anyways, I'm bitching a lot.
And Solo the Can Good Prince.
Oh my god. Okay, so there was a some of these fools in the chat live in Hawaii, right? And they have extremely expensive groceries. And one of the things that's goofy about it is that they have canned they have canned corned beef, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it's a normal thing, whatever. Canned corned beef, you can find that at the store. But the funny thing about them is they have the corned beef behind the counter, with the cigarettes, because they don't want nobody to steal it.
The fuck?
And it's like crazy expensive. It's like I think I don't remember exactly. I'd have to go check my Discord to know for sure. But it's like $10 for a can of corned beef.
God damn.
Dude. He was showing me some of the other stuff. It's $10 for a gallon of milk. I was just like, man, like Hawaii sounds all pretty until you go
Until
grocery
you
shopping.
live there.
Yeah. I wonder how much it costs to wipe your ass. God damn.
Fucking $20 a roll.
They got some prison prices going on up in there. All right, but now I kind of want to know, like, you explained that, Wolverine and Hogwarts is what you're most excited for coming up. But let's move to a couple games that you would possibly go back and revive. So I want you to pick 2 games. What would you go back in your history of gaming and put back on the screen for a PS5 or, new dope game, or, not remake, but, or yeah, remake is what I'm looking for. Yeah, remake.
Okay, so that's kind of difficult because I've always had 4 games in my mind. Those 4 games being the original Battlefront 3, which I want to revive, Simpsons Hit and Run, which I really want a sequel to, and Midnight Club.
Yeah, you put 3 on. I asked for 2, and you're just like, "Yo, I can't leave out
I
Midnight
told you I
Club."
have 4 games on the mind.
Oh man, all right. No, what's number 4 then?
And 4, I mean, I'd actually would really like a revival of Resistance from the PS3 generation.
Okay, yeah, I remember Resistance. I yeah, I remember Resistance. I didn't really get to play it that much, but I remember when it came out and it was a big deal, and like a lot of my friends had it and whatnot. They loved it. I played it for like 5 minutes and I was like, "Oh, this is cool," but whatever.
All right, fair enough.
Well, like I said, I didn't have a PS3 and a
Yeah.
PS4, so like I just didn't care that much. It was like, all right, well, this is cool, but I can't go home and play it.
Yeah.
Especially in that time, because your boy was broke. Like, I wasn't like broke, but I was just like, I didn't have. No, I take that back. I was broke. I was broke. I didn't have like any money at all. Like the money that I had went to rent or groceries or beer, because, like I said, I lived in a party house and that's what we did. Just drank, tried to keep the lights on, and hung out, and then I ended up going to college and yada yada yada, all that stuff. But those are 4 pretty interesting games. I want to know why you want Simpsons Hit and Run 2 though, because that one stuck out.
Because Simpsons Hit and Run was just like, it was just so fun to play. Like, yeah, it was like, yes, it was a GTA clone, but it had the Simpsons charm. Just like the comedy, just like every reference from like a show from like an episode of The Simpsons was in that game. So you really got the charm of The Simpsons in that game. And like the vehicles to drive were fun. Like running over people or hitting them randomly was pretty funny because of the comments that they would make. It was just overall a really fun game, and that was like one of my just my personal favorites, because it was just like I loved The Simpsons as a kid watching the episodes, and just
They
like
had some
playing in the
goofy ass
Simpsons
cars
world.
in that game too.
Yeah, and like just like being in the world of The Simpsons was just like you don't really get that. You don't really get that anymore, you know?
Man, it's been so long since I played that game, but I remember like driving through the grass and just whipping around, and then like you have all
I
these
remember
different...
when I get the wanted level, just like oh no, I'm gonna have to get these cops off me, and then when you fail, the car explodes. I was like, damn, there goes my coins.
Yeah, I remember that game was pretty fun. That game was pretty fun, but I was just really surprised to hear that you want that game to have a number 2. Surprised. Um, but here's kind of a serious question. Um, of all things within gaming, what would you say specifically frustrates Calirex? And it can be just anything that you can think of.
You know what? I'd have to say when games get delayed, and nothing really changes, and the games come out broken still.
You know, that's a good one that no one's ever brought up. I've heard of people saying, you know, I don't like broken games, sure. But I've never heard somebody bring up delay and still broken. And I mean, yeah,
It's
I'd
like
say
you pushed
Cyberpunk's
it
the
back,
biggest
you pushed it
culprit.
back, you pushed it back to fix it, but when it comes out, nothing is fixed. So what the fuck was the point of waiting? You know,
Well, yeah. Like, what were
what
you
was it
gonna
on
give
good?
me? What were you gonna give me at that original release date time?
Yeah, like with Cyberpunk, they pushed it back about it like month after month after month at one point, and then when it released, it was like it was still broken as all hell. So like, what did you guys fix? Was there a glitch behind a toilet somewhere in the bathroom that was crashing the game? What was going on here?
Yeah, man, I couldn't tell you, but that's an interesting. That is interesting because there's a lot of games that get pushed back and then they still come out broken, and it feels fairly normal at this point. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, it shouldn't be because like the game shouldn't be broken, but like it's just at that point where it's just like, fuck, we're gonna have to live with this, aren't we?
Sensei in the chat said it's like an empty promise.
Exactly.
100%. Sensei always got something fun to say, but with a little bit of shade attached. All right, so that's what frustrates you, but now I want to know what would be like a dream come true. And this can be all of gaming, so you don't have to focus it in on one game if you don't want to. But I mean, this is your dream.
Like a dream come true.
Yep.
You know what? I want I'd say my dream would be I'd say my dream would be for the Simpsons hit and run devs to come back from being shut down.
You're really
They
on
were a
this
great studio. They were a great studio. Activision should have like they never should have shut them down.
Man, you're really tight on your love with that game.
Yeah, I I fucking adored that game growing up. I was
So
either gonna
which
say
one?
that or fucking Activision's decision on canning the Transformers series. But like I think my love for the Simpsons game kind of just tops that.
So if you had to, like, I'm gonna pit you in a hard spot. If you had to pick to only one, Midnight Club Dub Edition or Simpsons Hit and Run, which one you picking?
You jerk.
You jerk. You're like, you're evil.
Oh my god, I can't believe I have to pick now. You know what? I'm gonna say Dub Edition.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna say Midnight Club. Midnight
Thank
Club all
you.
the way.
I didn't want you to make that. I like it was kind of a trap question because if you would have said Simpsons, I would have been on your ass.
It's
Like,
a 50-50 there. Simpsons Hit and Run is fun.
it is, but it ain't Dub Edition, and I'm happy you chose the correct answer. Because I was just sitting here like just rubbing my hands together like if he picks Simpsons, I'm killing this stream right now. But nah. So bro, so what you got going on outside of gaming right now?
Outside gaming, I mean, uh, honestly, I've just been doing college, so that's just been where most of my time has been. But I mean, I have been trying to like do like different projects when it comes to my YouTube channel. Like I'm working on a documentary, just kind of just been pushing it back because like I told you, I think I told you this. I kind of get lazy with things, so I just kind of been kind of putting it off on actually finishing up like what I needed to do with it. But I have been trying to work on it though.
Okay. So content coming, and you said a A little bit of a history lesson, was that right?
Yes.
I'm kind of curious what that's going to be about. I guess I'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Which,
I've actually announced it, so I'd be happy to tell you.
yeah, please then elaborate. Let everybody know what you're working on so they can go sub to your channel.
So, so it's a retrospective on a Shadow of Mordor. So I'm doing a kind of history on not just the game, but like also the developers themselves and what they've developed over the years, because they've been around for 25 years. So I'm kind of going through their history to the point of
That's
making Shadow of Mordor,
that's
and
long for
I'm gonna be
development at
kind of
this
doing
point.
like yeah, and I'm kind of also doing like a little bit of like information about the game. So like about like what the game story was, because in general it was like my video is about Shadow of Mordor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's I'm just kind of trying to, because what I like to do is I kind of like to go big with my ideas. So I'm trying to make sure I don't go too big with this, because if I do, I'm gonna make the video way too long.
And nobody should go too big. That's true.
Yeah.
Nobody should go too big. I hope he's hearing that. Anyway, so that's what you kind of been working on outside of gaming and whatnot. Um, Now, like we're pulling up to like the last couple things that I'm gonna ask for you, and one of them is gonna be, do you happen to have any questions for me? And I'll tell you, as of recently, I've been asked like how I got into gaming and stuff like that. So, what kind of maybe fresh questions do you got for your boy
You know what?
today?
I'm curious to know how you got into, or what got you into content creation with gaming involved. Like, what was your motivation for getting into like podcasting and talking about video games?
So it's mostly because I just like talking to people. I really enjoy talking to people. I've always been like big into party chats and just kicking it and meeting different types of people throughout what I like doing. And it's hard to do that, especially when I don't go to school anymore and I don't live in my hometown. I'm, in Kansas City now, and I don't really know anybody that lives out here. I moved here because of a job. Um, and yeah, so not being able to really talk to people about it and having a love for something while, taking care of my wife and daughter. Um, yeah, it's strictly an escape for me to be able to kind of do what I feel like I need to be doing for whatever reason while thoroughly enjoying myself, because you always get that question when you're a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up, right? And I never knew as a kid what I wanted to be and when I grew up, but one thing I did know is that I really liked video games and I enjoyed meeting people just in general. So I felt like this is a great way for me to get the best of both worlds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
All right.
we all have our different reasons for doing content: escapism, just the joy of entertainment. There's a lot of different reasons why people get into YouTubing.
Oh yeah. Any others?
No, that was really the only one I really wanted to ask, to be honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So the way I'm gonna go on ahead and end this episode is I'm gonna ask you to describe gaming for me in just 3 words.
Okay, so I think if I had to describe gaming in 3 words, I think I'd describe it as uh, fun, social, and amazing experience.
That's 4 words, you jack. But anyways,
Okay, fun, social, and amazing. Okay.
I'm holding you to it. Damn it, Calirex. All right. Well, I appreciate you for being here. It was a fun conversation and definitely got a lot of laughs. The chat was doing their thing and trying to get under my damn skin, but it didn't work. Oh man, I love you
I
guys
like
for
your
being
chat.
here.
I like these people. They're pretty funny.
Oh man, don't like these guys. They're a bunch of asses. especially Too Big Sensei, Matt, and where is his ass at? Blind Giant. There he is. Yeah. Fucking ass.
These guys bring the personality to the chat.
Oh man, they're actually fantastic dudes. If you ever want to check out their kind of shows and whatnot, they have a podcast called Talk Story. They do that in a very Hawaii style, and by that I mean you don't know when the next episode's gonna come out. But, but when they do have an episode, it's very fun. It's very it's hilarious. It's just a bunch of guys just joking around and doing some fun stuff in the name of gaming, and I love it. And it's very entertaining. It's the kind of stuff that you go to YouTube to see, you know. So just a little shameless plug out there for y'all. But yeah, definitely go check them out, and also you guys make sure to check out my guest today's YouTube channel, Calirex. I just wanted to give you one last shout out and just let everybody know where they can find you other than YouTube.
Again, you guys can find me on my Twitter, Calirex01, and my backup Twitter handle, Calirex011. And yeah. Also, I do want to just drop this. I am planning on trying to transition into Twitch streaming eventually, so I will be trying to go there, and my Twitch handle is Calirex01 on there.
Okay, very good, very good. What do you think you're going to be playing mainly on there? Is it just going to be various games, or do you have a specific direction that you're trying to go?
To be honest, I kind of want to just stream just like games I enjoy, like Warframe and Apex specifically, just those two type of games.
Yeah, man. You seem like you really know what you're doing in Warframe. I get lost as hell in that game.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very easy to get lost in that game. Won't lie.
For sure. Well, you guys make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoy this kind of entertainment. It can get a little wild sometimes, but it's all in good fun. And definitely share this out so other people can see these awesome content creators and gamers that I talk to on a regular basis. Too Big said he threw you a follow on Twitch, so you got some people checking you out, which is good, and that's the whole reason I do this stuff, is so everybody can kind of meet each other and kind of see the thought process on how they think of gaming and what they like, and maybe you might find your next homie to play with from something like this. So I really enjoy you guys coming out and sharing your time with me. But this is Ham Solo and Calirex saying good night to you. And the last thing that I wanted to say before I get out of here is keep it gaming or keep it moving. See you later, y'all.